What I love about this comic book, besides the action of it and the weapons and the characters, is it's the last hour on Earth, and most of the time when you hear "last hour on Earth," it's all doom and gloom. But there's some really funny bits in this. It's really almost like a buddy comedy action adventure, and I've never seen those two worlds mesh before, and that's really exciting.
My favourite thing is the unpredictability of Mercy. Obviously, she's she's very attractive and scary at the same time, and that's throughout my career has been mostly what I'm attracted to. Scary and attractive things, and so when we've been messing around or playing or shooting little stuff just to see what stuff would look like, I really like the fact that there's this lady out there who could sort of just wipe you out in like a second flat, but also seduce you at the same time.
You like dangerous women, is what you're saying.
I'm trying to say that.
What I also love about this project is that all the characters are based on real biblical figures, and they're kind of hidden. So there's nothing, that's in your face. It's more like for real comic book fans and fans of that genre, they can go in and do research and be like, oh, okay, this is based on this character. And why don't you tell us more about that?
Well, when I started reading about the angels and the demons when I was a kid and learning about their personalities and how they interweave with one another, I was a big fan of movies like The Warriors and a lot of cult movies, and I didn't like just calling them by their names like Uriel or Michael or whatever. I wanted to give them cool nicknames, basically, is what I want to do. So they became Brother U and Brother M. And, Brother U he's based on Uriel, since we've already sort of established that. And then Brother M is actually based on a real demon of God that worked for God to help weed out the believers and the non-believers. And these two have a symbiotic relationship because Brother U can't let anybody into heaven without them being tested by Brother M. So they're really like brothers. They have a bond with each other, and they end up being the two heroes of our story. And then I also got into the whole morality issue of it. If you're an angel, it can't be clear-cut. Good and evil cannot be that clear-cut. There have to be conflicts even within the angels and the demons. And so that's what really helped it establish itself and build itself for me over the years.
What I like is the way that you've injected that with humor.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're conflicted and they're kind of playing with each other in a way, but then it's a deadly game.
And it's like a yin and yang.
It is.
That kind of balance each other out. There's no pure good without evil, and there's no evil without good. And like Dave said, it's all done in a very kind of humorous way.
Yep.
When we say humorous, I suppose it's like how, in a way, sort of Tarantino has some humorous scenes, but it's obviously what's happening is not funny,
dark.
really.
It's dark humor. It's dark humor. It's definitely walking the line. But it was intentionally designed to get away from those traditional horror film type of mentality when it comes to the Antichrist or to good and evil and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to get away from that and get into something that had a little bit more levity in it because, you look at most anything, you can find a little bit of humor in it. So,
talk to us a little bit about the weapons in there, because I think the weapons are really cool.
Well, the first image I saw was this Uriel holding a flaming sword, and then over time, I actually was at a film festival where I saw a guy using a flaming whip. And that's, all of a sudden, it was like, wait, a whip is way cooler when it's on fire than a sword is. So I'm going to get a flaming whip, and then you start bending dimensions so that the whip can lengthen itself and grab things and throw around slot machines and tear things up. And then I was a big fan of Michael Moorcock and the Elric series as a kid, and so these really cool black swords and, just all of that stuff. And then, things like 300 come out, and you're like, well, what if they set that in modern-day Los Angeles or modern-day Las Vegas, and they just were tearing the hell out of those towns? That would be awesome. And that's kind of where it came from.